two people, including DHS employee Lauren Bullis. And DHS identifying the suspect in a string of deadly attacks in Georgia as a man from the UK who became a naturalized citizen under Joe Biden is charged with killing two people, including DHS employee Lauren Bullis. She was shot and stabbed to death while just walking her dog. Former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf is here with us. Here's what Secretary Mullen, the new Secretary of Homeland Security, said to Laura Ingraham last night.
This individual not just had a pattern of criminal activity, but his pattern was every April. Every April, he had escalated his criminal activity. And the Biden administration knew this. The law enforcement knew this, and they decided not to just deport him, but they allowed him to become a citizen, and then he escalated it to the point he did now.
Chad, what should we make of this?
Well, obviously very, very concerning, and I think it's a little bit of an indictment on the procedures on how you naturalize someone and the vetting that takes place. If that's accurate, and I believe he was naturalized in 2022 or 2023.
Yes.
And the Biden administration knew about these criminal convictions, or at least these alleged incidents. You don't naturalize someone. You don't allow that process to go through. And so I think that's really what needs to be looked at now. If they didn't know that and the vetting didn't catch it, also very concerning. So I think there's a number of things here. And I think the Trump administration over the last, I'd say 14 months or so, have been criticized, I think unrightfully or not correctly, because they want to go deeper into individuals' backgrounds. They want to do a more thorough vetting of individuals, not just folks illegally coming into the country, but also legally that are here or coming in on certain types of visas. And we hear outcry from the left that you can't do that, or it's wrong, or we somehow dislike everyone coming to the country. It's not the case. But you need to understand who's coming into the country and for what reason.
The left continues to show how much they hate America by the way they react whenever policies are being put in place to protect innocent citizens. Okay, so I haven't heard anything about this in the days after this has happened, because maybe she's the wrong skin color. Okay, maybe she's like Irina Zarutska, who got eliminated by a black person with a record of repeat violence, and no one is rioting, no one is wearing pins on the red carpet at the Oscars because she's the wrong skin color, or maybe because she works for the government. I don't know, but this is very, very disturbing. This happened days ago. I don't know about you. Is this the first time you're hearing about this? I just saw this in my feed and I was like, come on, this happened days ago, and not a peep. And Fox News were the only ones who carried it. Of course, you know that MSNBC and CNN wouldn't even touch it with a 500-mile pole.
It's interesting to have Secretary Mullen comment on that, because I'm sure that he is learning all sorts of things in this new role, and many of them probably very frustrating. And if we could all go back in time, maybe this would have been different. Right now, the heads of ICE and Customs and Border Patrol in front of Congress, the department is still shut down. And that's Todd Lyons there that's trying to figure out a way to get past this. But the Democrats have really dug in their heels, Chad, and they still want to defund ICE.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible that we're, I think, on the 6th or 7th week of this DHS shutdown. DHS employees are not getting paid. The vast majority of them are at work, working for free, essentially. Hopefully they will get back pay whenever this occurs. But, you know, the Democrats have been very clear that they wanted some type of reform to ICE. But as this progress continues to unfold, and if, you know, there's another reconciliation bill where they try to fund CBP and ICE for the next 2 or 3 years, it doesn't appear that Democrats are going to get any of those reforms, right? And so the question becomes, why did they do this? Why did they put the American people, those that are traveling, and certainly DHS employees, through this? You think they would be negotiating with Republicans in good faith to try to get something out of this, but it seems like they just want to cause pain and misery for DHS and for those employees there.
They want to cause pain to the American people so that they can hate Trump. That's the reason why. Let me know in the chat, okay, if you're not tired of the insanity of the left. I'm playing these videos because I want to, leading up to the presidential elections in 2024, it was as if there was this overload of insanity. Doors flying off of planes after they took off, drones that no one could explain where they came from and what they were doing over major cities. Different things were just going on, and people were fed up. And you know what? Creators, both conservative, independent, and even mainstream, were posting content essentially saying, hey, here is what's going on in the United States. It is insane. We can't have another 4 years of this. We won't have a country. We had independent creators who were at the border showing that the border was wide open, while Kamala Harris was telling TDSBC that the border was secure, and nobody pushed back. And then when Elon Musk goes to the border and shows that it's wide open, he gets attacked. So, these are things that happened leading up to the elections. And I think that leading up to the midterms, we have to resume that conversation to say, do you want to go back to what it was under Joe Biden, under the Democrats, who were essentially running roughshod over the Constitution and didn't care? They gaslit the American people. They tried to imprison a former president on bogus charges. Everybody saw the insanity. And I think right now people are forgetting how it was. Okay, so let me know in the chat if you're catching yourself forgetting how it was under Joe Biden. Joe Biden let this criminal into the country, or at least his policies let the criminal into the country. And then on top of that, even after the guy had racked up crimes or criminal charges within the United States, he was still given citizenship status in the country. Is that right? Is that the way this, should work? And again, tell me in the chat, why is it that the media is so quiet over this incident? A white woman who happened to work for the government gets murdered and nobody's talking about it. Now, send in your chat if you're watching live and you want me to read your chat out, while I'm live. Please go ahead and post it before we end the video, because we've been doing recently, we're doing compartmentalized streams. So I'm focusing on one topic per stream. We stream one topic, then take a break, and then come back for another. So if you want to talk about this or give us your thoughts or have a conversation about this, please jump in the chat and I will read your messages in the chat and maybe respond.
On top of that, you have what we just talked to Senator Cotton about, which is they need to reauthorize the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act before Monday amidst all of this. So do you think that will happen?
Yeah, well, obviously the administration wants that to happen. I think it should. There's always been debate about reforming FISA and what you need to occur there, but obviously some national security issues and the ability of those capabilities is really important to keep the American people safe. So I'm hopeful that they will. We'll see how that rolls out.
All right, Chad Wolf, thank you for being with us.
Yeah, so that's a tragedy. It's sad that this is happening, and it's sad that the Democrats would ignore this. We played a video last night where a Democrat was essentially trying to shame angel moms who came to Congress to testify about how their kids had been murdered or attacked or gravely injured by illegal aliens. And the guy chose that moment to begin to essentially try to shame them into not testifying, because he felt that that white supremacy was the problem. Okay, that is the Democrat Party, and a close second is the left-wing media, who will not carry these stories. These stories are happening and they're ignoring them, and all they want to talk about is Trump. Trump did this, Trump did that, and most of it is made up. So it's crazy to watch, and it's very heartbreaking that we're having to deal with the insanity that the left is essentially perpetrating across the board. Well, let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know what you think about why it is that mainstream media doesn't talk about the killings that happen when the victim happens to be white. And it's all hush-hush when the perpetrator happens to be someone who got into the country either illegally or came in and they had a criminal record and they weren't properly vetted by the Biden administration. All right, so let me know in the chat and I'll catch you on the next one. We'll take a break and we'll come back.